welcome back to another reaction video. Today, reacting to Pat Beverley talking about this man, Russell Westbrook, on JJ Redick's podcast. Now, before we get started, though, make sure you like, comment, share, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe and join the team. Make sure you hit the like button, share this with everybody. Now, look, we better get into what this man, Pat Beverley, thinks of this man, Russ, so let's get to it.
I do want to mention one disclaimer. Since the time that we recorded this, Russell Westbrook.
Also, while we get into this, we're gonna break it down, and I'm gonna ask y'all different questions. I want to see what y'all think. I'll give y'all my opinions on what I think. Let's get
gave
to
a press conference talking about death threats given to him and his family, and we do talk about Russ. We felt it was appropriate given the history of the two players and given that Pat had recently tweeted about Russ, and so we asked him about it.
Fact.
We are not here to pile on Russ at all. In fact, whether it's been on this podcast or whether it's been on ESPN, I have not taken any shots at Russ. People know I'm a fan of Russ, like him as a human being, like him as a person, like him as a basketball player. But again, given the history of the two, we do have a conversation about Russ, but not here to pile on Russ at all. Pat, last thing before we let you go, just because it was recent and your perspective on things and your candidness on things are always so enjoyable. But the tweet about Russ, so just to provide some history on this, when he played for the Thunder, there was a collision at half court and he got hurt. And then a couple years ago, he said that Pat Beverley tricked y'all, and all he does is run around. And then the other night, after again another off game for Russ and the Lakers
said
lost, you wrote that he was the real magician. How much have you held on to that?
I call it perfect timing, divine timing.
He said perfect timing. Now, real quick, I want to ask y'all, is this karma for Russ? Like, is it, like, because I remember when he said that. He run around and do nothing. He tricked y'all. Like, he said he runs around. He just runs around and does nothing. So, is this karma on Russ? Not the death threats or nothing. Just him playing bad and him being in trade rumors and all this stuff. And, you had Magic saying you can't, he called him Westbrook on air. After Russell Westbrook, during ABC game, I want to say it was ABC. He said Westbrook. And he didn't even, he wouldn't even try. It's just natural at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if some of this, karma for Russ, and again, of course, Russ wasn't like Pat Bev because he tore his meniscus. So their beef went on early. But is this, karma for that, per se? What he said about him?
People looked at me differently. People around the NBA, coaches, players. After that, people were just taking the ball and just going at me. I'm like, what the fuck? All because of what one person said. And that's how the media is. If one person says one thing, that's how they take it. They take it just for that. He really looked at it people yeah, maybe this motherfucker don't play defense. The only thing he does is run around. So obviously, I had one bad game. Oh, Russ was right. And I knew this motherfucker. Only thing he did was run around and stuff like that. And, there's no falling rabbit got the gun now. And I'm over here in Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm chilling. I'm trying to get out this play-in situation and try to get 6th seed. And, just a real humble tweet. Forgive but not forgotten type of thing.
That's what I'm saying, though. Do you think... Because, let's keep it a buck here. When Russ said this, Russ was... I want to say he was with Houston. And Russ started he started out rough in Houston, but then he started playing well. And I think he said this when Russ was playing real well. And of course, what's it called was on the Clippers. Pat Bev was on the Clippers. And them Clippers Rockets games was lit. Like I can't even with James Harden, and then they had Kawhi and Paul George. Them Clippers Houston games was lit. So I mean, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when Joel Embiid, and I think it can potentially come back to haunt him. When when Philly traded James Harden for Ben Simmons. Y'all remember the tweet Joel put with the dude with the shades and stuff. Look, that meme or whatever can come back. There was no memes when they played the Nets when they got beat by 30. Even though it's a regular season, if Ben plays in the playoffs and they play Philly and Philly loses to Ben, this exact same thing could happen to Joel Embiid. Like, this might be karma for Joel Embiid. Like, what do y'all think, man?
You know? Perfect timing, too, huh? Trade deadline. Yeah. Maniac. Patrick Beverley is a maniac. I am. I don't give a fuck. So what?
It was perfect. It was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. Perfect time. He damaged my career. Like, people, coaching staffs and players, fans, they looked at me way different. They looked at me like, you know what? You don't play defense. You just yells and run around. Well, okay, and held on to that. And some people still
crazy.
Do. You know? And perfect time. Perfect.
I will say, though, like, that's one of those scenarios you have to be careful what you say to people when you say it, man. I'm just saying, you gotta be careful, man, because it can't come back to haunt you. Like, this Philly might haunt Joel Embiid. Like, this Philly Nets thing, it might haunt Joel Embiid, man. But that's it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We got to get to 10K, man. We got to get 10K. But with that being said, I'm out.